Today on The Real Story, the Pentagon budget and its potential impact on Connecticut jobs. New hope for homeowners stuck with crumbling foundations. And federal approval for the new casino in East Windsor. Our first guest this morning, 2nd District Congressman Joe Courtney. Hello there, you're watching The Real Story. I'm Al Terzi alongside Jen Bernstein.
Thank you, Al, and good morning to everyone at home. Potentially good news for Connecticut from Washington, a new defense budget that could mean a big boost for the state's economy and a bid for federal financial aid to help residents whose homes sit on crumbling foundations.
Just some of what we're going to talk about now with Connecticut's 2nd District Congressman, Democrat Joe Courtney.
Hey, Al.
Nice to be here.
Great to be here.
Good to have you. All right, so let's talk about this Pentagon budget. You don't have much very nice to say about the president, but you like his Pentagon budget because...
Well, again, it's a big document. I mean, the overall budget is a couple $1 trillion. So within it, obviously, is the defense side. I sit on House Armed Services Committee. With the new majority, I'm now chairman of the Sea Power and Projection Forces Subcommittee, which we actually checked with the House historian. The last time anyone from Connecticut chaired a naval subcommittee was 1872. So,
wow.
And it's a good thing for Connecticut because, again, we have a Navy base that goes back to 1867, and we have 10,000 sailors and officers that serve there, as well as obviously the shipyard with 17,000 workers now and climbing.
And now you have a say in the Navy's budget.
That's right. We designed the shipbuilding plan in our subcommittee.
All right, so this calls for an extra submarine, a third one. You had asked for a third one before, and that was not
blocked.
Didn't go over too well. But now you're in a better position to ask for one and maybe get it.
Sure. So again, we're building 2 a year in the Virginia class program, the attack subs. And that is definitely one of the reasons why the employment has gone up so dramatically down there. But even at 2 a year, with the retirements of the legacy class, the Los Angeles class submarines, we're still on a downward trend in terms of the size of the fleet. So today it's 51 attack subs that are in the fleet. At 2 a year build rate, we're going to be at 42 in 2026. This is at the same time when, again, there's just a lot more action out there in the undersea domain with Russia's naval buildup as well as China's. And so all the combatant commanders in the Indo-Pacific region as well as the European command are all saying that, we need to get more subs available. And if we're on that trend line, I mean, this is going to create a real stress for the Navy.
Good news in other parts of the state, not in your district, but I understand more helicopters being ordered from Sikorsky, and some fighter planes too, although they're backing off on the F-35s and putting in more F-15s. Like, F-15 is an old plane.
It is. It's a 4th generation with no stealth. And so we're going to have definitely on armed services a lot of questions about, why are you shifting gears to, as you point out, a technology that really is about 20 years 30 years old. So again, the heavy lift helicopter program, which is a Marine program, that also is under our subcommittee because we have airlift and sea lift. That's part of the projection forces. And again, that's an exciting new program. Sikorsky got the contract for it. And again, if you look at the pie chart of Connecticut's economy, I mean, defense is just is a very sizable part. And we're seeing a lot of new job growth, particularly in manufacturing, which the hiring now at Electric Boat, their workforce, the 17,000 that are down there right now, 51% are millennials, which is just which is an incredibly impressive, and that's just going to keep going higher.
But that's good because you wanted the job pipeline to be. You need more people too.
And these are careers. I mean, these are not sort of onesie twosie, 2-year employment. This is a career, correct?
All right, crumbling foundations. You're trying to get federal assistance at some level. Just the way the state is now pitching in to help. Where does that stand?
So again, we made great progress with the IRS recognizing a property casualty loss, which I know from people in Vernon and South Windsor and other towns, the 46 towns, that they took advantage of that last year. HUD money was finally released this week, which again is through the Community Development Block Grant money. And so Vernon, Stafford, and Ellington, after jumping through the hoops, again, got a $500,000 grant that would provide the total cost of testing for homeowners. Because again, we're still trying to get our arms around just, again, the scope of the problem in terms of homes that are hard hit. Again, this is the first federal cash grant to Connecticut for this, and we are already in the midst of the new budget in terms of trying to get more funds to the state. Again, the state is doing a great job with the captive insurance company, and I know folks, again, who have gotten their claims approved, and it is, just a life-changing event for people who thought they were about to lose their biggest asset.
You were also able to help the Birch Grove School in some ways, right?
Yeah,
I know
so
you toured
again,
that's
it is
scary.
it is, and there's street talk that they may not be the only one. So again, on the Education Committee, we just reported out a bill called the Rebuild America's School Act, which is again about trying to get help for school infrastructure, and we got a whole separate section in the bill for pyrrhotite-related damage. So I think this is a bill that has legs. Speaker Pelosi has indicated that this is definitely one of her top priorities in terms of the education agenda, and again, these communities that's a 20-year-old school who had about 100-year projected shelf life, and to have to tear that down is just it is like a natural disaster.
Well, I know you're well respected by the homeowners that are dealing with this problem. I know Tim Heim was saying you were the first one at his home in 2015 when this kind of all happened. I want to ask you, because a lot of homeowners have called for a federal investigation into who knew what and when in 2002. Is that something that you would support?
Absolutely. I mean, and there is, again, federal litigation right now that is actually looking at the way, again, insurance policy language morphed back in the early 2000s.
Morphed, that's a good way to describe
it's sort of to restrict the scope of coverage that's there. And, again, the Attorney General's office did a trade violation investigation a couple of years ago, which, again, didn't find enough evidence, in their opinion, to bring an unfair trade practices action against the quarry owners. But this thing, again, the good news is because of the efforts by Tim and others, you can just feel the momentum has really shifted. We're starting to get real help out to people. The courts are really starting to perk up in terms of recognizing the homeowners are just innocent victims who really need to get every stone turned over to get to the bottom of it.
The casino decision out of Washington, Department of Interior, approving the East Windsor Casino.
Right. Should have happened a year and a half ago when the initial application was made. Again, it was a complete reversal by the Department of Interior in a matter of about 48 hours, denying it back a year and a half ago, and that triggered the request for an Inspector General's investigation from myself, the two senators, and John Larson. Again, the results of that are finished, but because of a grand jury investigation that flowed from it, we don't actually have the public document yet in terms of just what transpired there, and that really, in my opinion, the law was fairly clear. The tribes had the right to build that facility up in East Windsor. So in any case, today, they reversed course, and now the legal pathway is wide open for the tribes to move forward, which really they were entitled to do under the Native American Gaming Act, which gives them that exclusivity to build that facility.
It's interesting. It's just posted on their website, the decision, no explanation, just saying it's approved.
You know what? I'll take it. Because, really, again, this at the end of the day, it's a legal order, and that's what matters.